What's the plan for healthcare, everybody? I've said this before, okay? What you need to fucking do to get healthcare in this country the way you want it is A, you need to go along with things like the Medicare expansion, which Jimmy Dore has shit on. So if you don't have the numbers, you're not getting anything done. You need to do that, and you need to get more progressives into office, more people who will actually push for Medicare for all, who would vote yes for Medicare for all, who you can use to collectively leverage your power for Medicare for all. Just simply because of the people who don't watch these videos, I have to do things like make follow-up videos to answer the criticisms. And I'm going to have to put things like this at the very beginning so that y'all actually pay attention to it. It's kind of a pain in the ass. And then I have to do stingers and whatnot. But the question that was asked by a viewer, and I'm using that term very loosely. Oh, where is it? Did he delete it? No way. Nah, there's no way. Uh-uh. Couldn't have been done. Gee. Okay. No, it looks like he deleted it. I mean, I didn't delete it. I don't like deleting comments unless, I mean, I don't even delete some of the spam comments and shit. But it shows it in my creator app, but not on the website. It is gone. Nope, right there. He says that Jimmy is a lefty and Jimmy is the man. No, Jimmy is an idiot, in my opinion. That is a direct answer to you. Uh, the difference with him is that he is smart and reasonable. No, he's not smart and he's not reasonable. That's why he screams about people who have not really had enough leverage or anything to get Medicare for all actually passed. Because just getting a floor vote isn't going to please him. He's going to scream about how they haven't got it passed and shit. That's what he does now. Besides, he cynically dropped it. Or he dropped it and then cynically weaponized it. I'm not cool with that. Um. Meanwhile, he says, "Dude, you, on the other hand, I am not that smart, but when it comes to shit like this, I'm actually pretty sharp. I've come to find out. Uh, what exactly do you want him to do? What I want him to do is stop being a fucking moron on strategy. Stop trying to work with the fucking right because they don't actually want to work with you on these issues. Maybe uh, stop screaming at progressives and attack the right more. I mean, yes, you need to put pressure on progressives, but you don't need to make several dozen videos on AOC and how she's a fraud and she didn't come on your show. Blah to fucking blah. And then, of course, this whole March for Medicare thing. I listened into it. What happened to that thing? It was actually kind of pathetic, really. I mean, I get the sentiment that people want to go for, but it was absolutely laughable the way that it was executed. I just had that and it's gone from my pocket now. I don't know what happened to it. Oh well. And so their questioning continues. You just want him to agree with the status quo, Big Brother? No. No, I don't want him to agree with the status quo, big brother. I want him to come up with actually smart and viable strategies for what he's trying to do instead of just ham fisting every single fucking thing. And what's the plan for healthcare? Hmm? That is what we're addressing because the rest of it is just like telling me that I'm an idiot and I need to go hide in a basement because I'm not doing anything productive. Um, What's the plan for healthcare, everybody? I've said this before, okay? What you need to fucking do to get healthcare in this country the way you want it is A, you need to go along with things like the Medicare expansion, which Jimmy Dore has shit on, because it is a step closer to universal healthcare, because it covers more people with more things. It takes away a large profit portion, like a large profit base from health insurance companies because Medicare now covers vision and dental, and I'm pretty sure hearing is on that list, but I'm not 100% sure on that. And that means that people 60 and over, yeah, it's currently 65 and over, and they don't get the dental and vision, but if they're 60 and over, if this passes, then they get that included in their benefits, which means there's more money going to the health care of seniors, to people who are older, who actually fucking need it really badly at this point. They don't work or they shouldn't need to work. Like fucking hell. That's pretty obvious for a leftist to come up with. You need to do that, and you need to get more progressives into office, more people who will actually push for Medicare for all, who would vote yes for Medicare for all, who you can use to collectively leverage your power for Medicare for all, because the House is a lot like a big business in which Pelosi, being the boss, has the final say on what gets brought. But if a large collective base starts stirring up shit until they get what they want in that regard, not like in a similar manner to Republicans, but not the exact same way or for the exact same things as Republicans, because you're stirring up shit to get health care for everybody. You're stirring up shit to save the goddamn planet. But you need the numbers. You can't just do it with 6, 7, 10 people. We have to do more. And on top of that, we need to get people in state legislators that are left. You just can't fucking do it alone. Not a single person in this country could do that alone. Nobody. It can't be done through executive action, so the president can't fucking do it. The Supreme Court's not allowed to pass laws or make laws. They're only allowed to judge if a law meets constitutional standard or see really high end cases. And no individual in Congress has the power to pass any legislation at the fuck all. They only have the power to hold it off, and not even one person can technically do that in the House for anything important because it requires the full fucking House. So if you don't have the numbers, you're not getting anything done. My plan to get healthcare for people is I mean, you do direct action. Like the March for Medicare in theory isn't a bad idea. In practice, it was poorly done, in my opinion. You could do multiple marches across multiple cities. Don't really care. I'm not about the People's Party, honestly, because, I mean, we need to break the duopoly, and so we need to concentrate on a third party getting in. So let's make multiple third parties. We have the Green Party, and so I'm going to make the People's Party. Why would you do that? That just splits more votes. That's just an attention grab, okay? So, you need to get more lefties into Congress. If you can do that through the Green Party, great. If you have to do it through the Democratic Party, that's fine. I don't care. The point here is to get the value system changed within Congress. Plus, if you get more progressives, that's more people who aren't taking insurance money. Like, think about that. So what do we do there? Well, you vote, voting. It's a thing you need to fucking do. All right. It, does that sink in? Is that is that a thing that you can understand? Jimmy Dore fans, you got to get out and vote, and you need to vote for viable fucking candidates in the general. In the primaries and shit, vote for whoever the fuck you want. Okay, as long as it's allowed on the, or even if it's not allowed on the ballot, if you have a write-in slot, then you can do that. I didn't have a write-in slot, and I also didn't have a fucking third-party vote. I didn't have Howie Hawkins on my ballot here in Oklahoma, so it was Donald J. Trump and Joseph Robinette Biden. That is it. So you need to vote for a viable candidate, whoever you can. In primaries, vote as far left as possible. In generals, for federal elections, vote who is the best candidate to represent, people. I guarantee it's not the Republican. I promise you. You do your direct actions. You do your marches. You do your literally calling your fucking Congress people. I've done this. What you need to fucking do? I still got to get a hold of the representative, but I need to. But I've called the senators. I complain about this. I complain to the senators. I could start going through and documenting everything that I think my House of Representatives member for my district is doing, but that would be on the specific Oklahoma channel, and could potentially actually be a really good source of content there. That's my general plan. All right, that's the general idea that I have. I mean, you get more people. Like within a union, you have more leverage. The more leverage you have, the more likely you are to get your agenda passed. So if we could pretty much get, a third of the Democrats in Congress currently to be progressive, like left, agreeing with Medicare for all, agreeing with the Green New Deal, because those aren't necessarily socialist ideas. Let's face it. They are ideas that socialists do and should agree with, but they are not in and of themselves socialist ideas. So I say this because I also don't want Mike from PA people posturing about it, because Mike does all the time. This is a socialist idea. This is a socialist idea over here. No, they're just ideas that people had that socialists find good and can support. But I find it irritating the way that Jimmy Dore does what he does, because it's not that I don't have a problem with the March for Medicare for all. Great, good. That's action. Way to go. That's a thing. Okay, I'm happy for you. But your cynical weaponization against progressives of Medicare for all, after you supported Tulsi Gabbard, and Medicare for all is here. Bernie Sanders, Medicare for all, right there. And he goes, Medicare for all is great. I like Tulsi though. And Tulsi's like, I support Medicare for all, but here's my plan. Instead of doing Medicare for all, I'm going to push for, how's about like an Australian model, which is a public option, where they have competing private insurance. Oh, well, that's like Medicare for all. That's, yeah, that's like Medicare for all. Come on. Come on. I mean, how is that not like Medicare for all, which doesn't have competing insurance because it covers literally every goddamn medical problem on the planet that you could have? But no, no, no. This public option is exactly the same. You know, Joe Biden though, his public option garbage. Tulsi Gabbard's public option is great. Joe Biden, fuck your public option. Tulsi Gabbard's public option is the way to go. How does this make any fucking sense to literally anybody? How? How is this the train of thought that people go on? Bernie Sanders, Medicare for all, boom. Oh, but Tulsi Gabbard has this public option. We're going to criticize Joe Biden for his, but Tulsi's anti war. She's a transphobe. She's literally just a conservative. She's an anti war conservative. So she went Democrat because the Democrats were more anti war than the Republicans were. And that's fucking it, y'all. That's it. On every other issue, she is bad. She may be a little bit better on the climate than a regular Republican, but fuck me running if you expect me to ever have believed that Tulsi Gabbard was actually a really good candidate. I never supported Tulsi Gabbard. I went to Elizabeth Warren as a second, more than I ever went with Gabbard. I mean, okay, that's not entirely true. I do remember a little bit of time where I was like, I think Gabbard's not the worst candidate, and then my old roommate's like, no, she's a homophobe, fuck her. And I'm like, what? I've never heard anything about that. And he laid out some facts and stuff, and I was like, what? And I had to go and confirm them, but after I looked into them, Tulsi Gabbard, homophobe, transphobe, fucking, uh, I guess maybe legalized weed was a thing she was into, and she's anti-war. And so there's two positions that conservatives and dumb fuck, like, undereducated in the realm of foreign policy, populist idiots like Jimmy Dore would fall for. She's anti-war in that regard. Like she was the perfect candidate to draw away fucking idiots from Bernie Sanders. Now we're already here on the Jimmy Dore train, so